r/EntitledParents. Episode 3. This is how you deal with an M. Speak another language. Long time lurker. First time poster. Sorry for the long post, but this is a funny one. And #XB. I always thought these crazy people who don't mind their own business must be a rare breed and that I would never encounter one of them. But somehow I did. And #XB. So a little bit of background before I start. I was born in Pakistan, but came to Canada when I was 3. But by that time, I could already speak in Urdu, Punjabi and Hindi. The languages are fairly similar in many regards. And then I came to Canada and English was my 4th language. As I grew up, I also learned Arabic, French and Japanese to varying competencies, but all within the realm of conversational. Having grown up in Canada, I have no accent when I speak in English, so you wouldn't be able to tell me apart from a Caucasian person if you spoke with me over the phone. But also having learned so many languages, I'm able to pronounce a lot of sounds fairly accurately, so I sound authentic in all languages that I speak into all but native speakers. Most of the languages that I know sound different enough from each other that someone that doesn't know them can still tell that the language is different. And #XB. I've traveled back home to Pakistan a few times, and I would always encounter those beggars who come with elaborate stories. Like, my wife is sick and she needs surgery, and I managed to get money for that, but I need money for the flight to reach her, etc. I came up with a fun counter to that, which was that I would act like I didn't understand them at all and would start speaking in a different language that they wouldn't know. Japanese was my go-to language while in Pakistan. The reaction those people would have was quite hilarious. And #XB. So anyway, on to my M story now. And #XB. The cast. M minus the Karen. CF minus cool father, the Karen's husband. Me minus me. W minus my wife. M minus restaurant manager. And #XB. So my wife and I were at an Indian restaurant enjoying our dinner and having a conversation. We speak in a mix of Urdu and English, just mixing with whatever feels easy. To someone listening in, they would be able to understand enough to figure out what we are talking about in most cases. We were sitting in a booth table, so it was only open from one side. M and her family, CF and her 2 daughters that looked like they were in their early teens, were sitting at an open table with an empty table between us. And #XB. My wife is Pakistani like me, and what some Pakistanis like to do is easy rice with their hands. I prefer a spoon myself, but at this time my wife was eating with her hands. Apparently this M got offended at seeing my wife eat with her hands. When she came over, I started speaking in different languages, acting like I didn't understand what she was saying in English. I'll translate what I said and put in parentheses which language I said it in. And #XB. Here's how it went. And #XB. M walks over to our table with a sour expression on her face. CF calls to her telling her to sit back down and leave us alone, but she ignored him. She addresses my wife directly. And #XB. M. What's wrong with you? Can't you eat your food in a civilized manner like the rest of us? And #XB. Me. Do. Huh. What do you want? Can't you see we're eating? And #XB. M looks at me with surprise. And #XB. M. What did you just say? And #XB. Me. Do. To W. Don't talk to her in English. Just do what I'm doing. And #XB. Me. Do. To M. You just a crazy woman. Go sit back down. And #XB. M. Why aren't you speaking in English? And #XB. My wife starts smiling and I try hard to keep a straight face. And #XB. W. Do. We are just enjoying our meal. Why don't you go and sit down? And #XB. M. I just heard you speaking in English. I know you can talk in English. And #XB. Me. Do. Yeah, I can, but I choose to not do so. and hashtag XB. W. Do. To me, I think sh getting upset, and hashtag XB. Me. Do. To W. I know. That's what makes this so much fun, and hashtag XB. M. Stop it. Talk in English like I heard you before, and hashtag XB. Me. Japanese. So you were listening in on our conversation. Don't you have any manners? And hashtag XB. M. Wait. That's some other language now. What the hell is this? And hashtag XB. CF. Leave them alone, M. They don't speak English. And hashtag XB. M. I know they do. They're just pretending not to. And hashtag XB. CF. It doesn't matter. Just sit down. And hashtag XB. I start waving toward her table. And hashtag XB. Me. Japanese. That's right. Go back to your table, you loud cow. And hashtag XB. CF. They aren't doing anything wrong. Leave them alone. And hashtag XB. M. She's eating with her hands. I can't let the girls learn her uncivilized ways. And hashtag XB. Me. Hindi. To W. Start licking your fingers. And hashtag XB. My wife starts licking the rice on her right hand off the top parts of her fingers, and that makes M rage even more. And hashtag XB. M. Oh my god. Look at how gross she is. And hashtag XB. CF. Stop looking at her if you don't like it then. And hashtag XB. Me. Arabic. Hey you dumb bitch. Do you behave this way everywhere you go? And hashtag XB. M. He changed languages again. I know he did. His accent changed. And hashtag XB. Me. Japanese. Yep. And I can keep changing. And hashtag XB. M. Speak in English. And hashtag XB. CF. You must have heard them wrong. They don't know English. Leave them alone. And hashtag XB. M. Then why are they living here? They don't deserve to live here if they don't know English. And hashtag XB. I was having a hard time keeping a straight face, so I disguised it by raising my voice and appearing angry. I gestured towards her and then pointed at her table. And hashtag XB. Me. Arabic. Are you so dumb you can't even listen to your husband? Go sit down and stop embarrassing yourself. And hashtag XB. M. You don't deserve to be here. Get out. And hashtag XB. At this point, the restaurant's manager showed up to see what all the commotion was about. He was an Indian guy with a pretty heavy accent when he spoke in English, so I knew he'd speak either Hindi or Punjabi. And hashtag XB. M. Excuse me, can you please keep your voice down? What is going on here? And hashtag XB. M. This woman is eating with her hands and it's disgusting. She's corrupting my children with her barbaric ways. And hashtag XB. M. Mom, there are no rules that forbid her from eating with her hands. Please leave them alone or I'll have to ask you to leave. And hashtag XB. Now CF gets up and comes over to where M is. And hashtag XB. CF. Sit down, M. You've embarrassed yourself enough. This is why I can't take you anywhere. And hashtag XB. Me. Punjabi. Ignore this dumb cow. Her brain is smaller than Oladu. An Indian sweet. And hashtag XB. The manager starts laughing at my comment and M gets even redder in the face as she thinks we're making fun of her. And hashtag XB. M. All of you should go back to your country. And hashtag XB. CF just takes her arm and leads her back to their table and sits her down, telling her to shut up. Her daughters look like they want to sink into the floor from embarrassment. And hashtag XB. I ramble a few more sentences in varying languages as a kind of venting before my wife tells me to just leave it alone now. And hashtag XB. We finish our dinner about 10 min later, with M glaring at us the whole time. I go pay the bill and as we are walking out of the restaurant, we pass near M's table. I call out to CF in perfect English, with no accent. while smiling, and I give him a wave. And hashtag XB. Me. Hey buddy. I hope you enjoy your dinner. Have a good night. And hashtag XB. M's eyes bulge as she screams. And hashtag XB. M. I knew it. See. They know English. And hashtag XB. She tried to stand up suddenly, but instead ended up falling over backwards in her seat. My wife and I left the restaurant laughing before she could do anything else. And hashtag XB. TL. Drive. M gets upset that my wife is eating with her hands. I respond to her in various languages she doesn't understand. Hilarity ensues. My son almost killed you. I'm gonna sue you for emotional trauma. Caution. This story is really long. So this happened when I was around 13 to 14. One thing that plays a significant role in this story is the fact that I'm openly a furry. Now I hope this is something that you will accept me being. Also, I'm not a native English speaker, so pardon my mistakes and weird spellings. Also, I got a few comments asking what a furry is. It's a person who enjoys human-like animals, and may have one as their alter ego, acting as one online or IRL. I don't do that. I'm keeping this clean for all the people who earn money by reading these. Here's a bad quality photo of my scar. http://imga.com/r/53ws. Let's meet the cast. Me. That one furry. Ek. Entitled kid. M. Female goblin called Karen. F. Ek's sidekick. The story. So I was your average student. Just doing whatever. Before finding the furry fandom and joining it, I was very open about it and many people didn't really care, since I wasn't bothering anyone with it. Or so I thought. Enter Ek. Ek was from a very racist family, and surprise, I am from Russia. Now I do get why some Finnish people dislike Russia, since we blamed Winter War on them and such. But this guy had so much hatred towards me it actually surprised me more than anything else. And coming out as a furry made him hate me even more. One day I was just hanging around after school, just doing whatever, when suddenly a wild Ek appears followed by F. Now I generally wasn't that scared of these guys, since they are both around 5, 6, and am surprisingly tall at 6'2". One thing to note, these guys are around 15, relevant later in the story. So Ek comes around and just does what he likes to do most of the time. Call me racial slurs and make fun of me in other ways. I just kind of ignore them for a while, before Ek pulls something out of his backpack. A gun? Nope. A knife? No, a friggin' leash. I kind of look at him confused, with him grinning at me. This is a rough translation of the following conversation. Keep in mind this happened around 3 years ago. Ek, what are you waiting for? Put it on. Me. What? F. Everybody knows you like to act like a dog. Me. No. What are you on about? Ek. You are a disgusting degenerate who likes to hug passionately with animals. Me. No. I just like animals. Ek. Shut up. It's a fact. With that, he tackles. Well, more like jumps on top of me, leading to me falling to the ground and hitting my head on concrete. F taking the opportunity and slipping the collar and leash around my neck while I'm trying to catch my breath. Ek grabs the leash and starts pulling on it, practically choking me and leaving me gasping for air. The second I thought I was going to die, he lets go. Both Ek and F let out the most disgusting laughter. Ek drops the leash and pulls out a smallish knife. Now I could tell you how with my last breath I fought them off, but reality is quite disappointing. He swung the knife at me. I put my arm to block it and he cut my forearm, blood gushing everywhere. I kicked him and he fell on his side, and I kicked him again. For good measure, F just kind of stood there, before helping Ek up. Then both just kicked me a few times before running off. I called myself an ambulance, and got taken to the hospital where I got treated with painkillers and I got 5 stitches and had to stay there for a few days since I had a problem breathing. And now I have a slight stutter since they damaged some nerve in my throat with the leash. My parents were furious. Now you may ask, where's the Karen? Well, she is coming to play now. After around 2 weeks my family settled down. I had to go to speech therapy, but I don't really mind that. We thought that this ordeal was over. You probably guessed this by now. It wasn't. After about 3 weeks of the ordeal happening, we receive a letter to court, with X's family suing us. Luckily one of our family friends is a lawyer. Not a perfect one, but good at his job. We immediately called him and I told him what had happened. He immediately told us that he got this and told us to just wait. The court day arrived. Since I'm the only person in my family capable of speaking Finnish, my family couldn't help me, so I had to retell everything by myself. I walk into the courtroom, followed by the family friend. We sit down, and suddenly a goblin emerges from the doors in the dirtiest clothes imaginable, followed by grinning Ek. That's the Karen. The sitting starts and Ek's family starts going first. They took over 20 minutes to retell the story in dramatic detail. I'm gonna quickly sum it up. I was bullying Ek for his whole life. That day after school I attacked him and pushed him to the ground, breaking his phone. Then I tried to assault F, but Ek pushed me away, leading to me falling onto the ground, and me taking out a knife and slicing my own arm to make Ek look like a bad kid. Also she tried to victimize Ek and her family as much as possible. She demanded that my family had to replace Ek's phone and had to pay 10,000 for therapy, damages and mental problems caused by the ordeal. When it came my turn to tell what had happened, I told everything as it was, with the claimant denying everything. After that the judge asked us to present our evidence, with claimant presenting the broken phone and a letter from a bystander. Then it was turn to present evidence. He asked to question M about the ordeal. Keep in mind this is all translated by my poor translation skill. Is it true that minus assaulted Ek on minus of May? M. That is true. Is there any evidence besides a broken phone and a letter from a bystander not present in the courtroom? M. No. Will you confirm that what you told us is true? M. I confirm that I'm 100% certain that this is how it happened. She actually said 100%. Turns to the judge. May I present a security camera footage as a piece of evidence? Had contacted the school, asking if any workers saw anything. The school sent him the security recording. My school had security cameras installed pointing to the yard where that happened. As he said that, M turned to white. Gonna update this in a bit. Tired of writing. Let's continue. So after seeing the tape, judge turns towards Ek and M. Judge, how do you plead? M. Not guilty. Clearly these insert racial slur forged the evidence to ruin my baby's reputation. M continues ranting about F-word Ruskis and immigrants for some reason. The judge looks so done. I swear I saw the look of disbelief in his eyes. Judge stops M's rant and says, by the way I see you acting, it is clear who is in the right in this situation. Basically, I'm so done with you and your crap. He charges M with forging evidence and lying to a judge, and Ek with assault and attempted murder, since I almost lost my life. Now remember me saying he was 15? That's the age you can go to jail in Finland. I think you know what happened to him. Jail time for 3 years. Judge had to call in security to escort Karen out. I was too distracted to hear her punishment. So here I am, a 16-year furry, who almost died for being myself. TL. Drive. Do not attack that weird kid or he'll send you to prison. Edit. Thanks for all the support I got. You stole this car because my son can't afford one. Hello everybody. Title is Kinder TL. Drive. So I've been scrolling through this sub for quite a time, wondering if any of the stories here are actually true. And then today happened. First of all, I drive a red 2005 BMW 3 Series. Nothing too fancy, but I really like my car and I'm kinda proud of it because I'm only 22. Looking a lot younger. Relevant for the story. And bought it with my own money. Why do I tell you that? Well, flexing of course. And it's the central point of the story that happened to me today. Sorry for any mistakes. I'm German, so English isn't my first language. Well, enough preamble. Let's go. The cast of my story. M. Entitled Mom. S. minus embarrassed son. FC, minus friendly cop. Me, minus well, have a wild guess. So this happened today at my local Burger King. I live in a small village and we don't have a Burger King, so I have to drive to the next town if I want to eat there. 2 days afternoon I felt like going there, so I hopped in the car and got onto the autobahn. A couple of minutes later I leave the autobahn and enter the parking lot of said Burger King. I leave my car, walk into the store and place my order. After a short while I get my food and leave the shop. I take the car key out of my pocket, walk towards my car and press the unlock button. While I open the door and put my bag behind the driver's seat, M enters the scene. As I put the seat back into normal position to get ready to leave, she suddenly shows up behind me. M, that's not your car. Who did you steal it from? Me, I'm sorry ma'am. How can I help you? M, that car does not belong to you. Who did you steal it from? Tell me so I can tell the police. Me, ma'am, this car is mine. I bought it myself with the money I earned at my job. You aren't old enough to have a job where you get paid well enough to own a car like this. Actually, I don't even think you're old enough to drive a car. Me, ma'am, I own this car and I'm 22. I have my license for more than 4 years now, so I'm very much allowed to drive a car. No you aren't. You look like you're 16. I will call the cops on you. Me, fine. Do it. They can come over and check. I own this car and I have a license. I got my license, saved my money and bought the car when I had enough. I worked hard for it. No you haven't. Nobody your age has enough money for a car like this. My son is 18, so he's older than you are. He is working at this store. She points at the Burger King where I ordered my food. After school, since he is 16 and he hasn't got enough money to buy such a car. Why should you have it when you're younger than him? Me, listen lady. I've worked in it since I was 18. I'm a trained IT specialist and I work about 40 hours per week. I don't want to sound cocky, but I think I earn a little more money than someone who works part-time at a fast food place. If you work 40 hours per week, then why are you here in the middle of the day? Me, getting a little bit angry, because I have vacations for Christ's sake. And I'm hungry, so I took my car to get some food. This isn't your car. Stop lying. I bet you're an unemployed dropout who stole somebody else's fancy car and now you're here to pose with it. I'm calling the cops right now. M takes her phone out of her purse and starts to call the police. After she started the call, S leaves the store through the front door and looks at me, standing in my open car door, and his mom, talking on the phone. S, excuse me, that my mom right there. Is everything alright? Is she calling someone for you? Me, still angry not to be rude, but is it possible that your mom is a little retarded? She kept accusing me of stealing my car and now she calls the police. I'm not retarded, you little fuck. Watch you language. S, looking at me, I'm sorry. She can be a little difficult sometimes. Looking at his mom, thanks for picking me up mom. Let's go. No. We will wait for the police to arrive here. S, very calm. Mom, please. Relax. Let's just go home. I'm sure he owns this car and just wants to go home too. No way. We will wait until the police gets here to arrest this thief. S, looking at me, I'm sorry. Me, it's alright. It's not your fault. Let's just wait until the police arrives so your mom sees that I own this car. Fast forward a couple minutes. A police car arrives in the parking lot. 2 policemen leave the car, look around a little and walk towards the 3 of us. FC, hello. Did any of you report a car theft? Yes, I did. It's this boy right here. Arrest him, officer. Me, lady, I already told you. I own this car. FC, 2 Why do you think that he stole this car? He's way too young to even be allowed to drive a car. He can't own a car like this. FC, to me, I'm sorry sir, but can you show me your license and your car documents? Me, sure. Wait a minute. I'll get them. I proceed to walk around the car to get my car documents out of the glove box. M grabs me shouting, "Officer, do something. He is clearly trying to run away." FC, ma'am, let him go. He is getting the documents I asked for. M, no he isn't. He is clearly trying to avoid charges for car theft. FC, let him go ma'am. M, let's go of me. I walk to the other side of my car, open the glove box and hand the documents over to FC. I take out my wallet and hand over my license to FC, checks them and says, "Everything is alright here. Why did you call us?" M, no, the car is stolen. My son is older than him and can't afford the car, so this car is stolen. FC, look, it's right here in these documents. The car belongs to Playmore 96. That name is also on his driver's license. So this car belongs to the young man. M, I don't care. The documents and the license are fake. Just do your job and arrest him. Officer. FC, look man, I will ask my partner to run his license plate off the database if that calms you. Okay. M, yes, do it. You will see, this car is stolen. The other cop walks over to the car and looks up my license plate. A couple of minutes later he comes over and says, "I looked up the license plate. The car is registered on Playmore 96. So it's his car." M, no, he stole this car. She walks over to me, trying to take my car key. Me, what are you doing? What the hell is wrong with you, lady? M, it's not you goddamn car. Give the key to me. I will find the real owner and give him his car back. FC, ma'am, please stop this or we have to arrest you. M, you don't have to arrest me. I didn't steal this car. Why don't you do your goddamn job instead of being fucking useless? Officer, arrest this boy. FC, ma'am, I have to ask you to calm down. Step away from Playmore 96 or we'll have to arrest you. S, very calm. Calm on mom. It's his car. He said it. The cops said it. Calm down and let's go home. Please mom. M stops trying to steal my key and looks at her son. All right honey. If you want to leave now, we leave. While walking towards her car she shouts at me, "I will get that car back to its owner. You little prick. I swear to God I will." At FC, you are fucking useless officer. Go back to your office to drink coffee or whatever. I hope you get fired because you aren't doing your job properly. M and S then proceed to enter their car and drive away. FC hands over my license and car documents. "Sorry to bother you. Do you want to press charges against M?" Me, no, it's alright. I'm sorry you had to come out here to take care of this shitty situation. FC, that's okay. This isn't even anywhere near the worst situation I experienced this week. Have a nice day. Me, thanks. You too. FC, thanks. The cops get back to their car, enter it and leave. I finally get into my car too and leave the parking lot to drive home. Now I'm sitting here, eating a cold chili cheeseburger and writing down this story. Knowing that M's son works at this Burger King, I guess he'll never go there again. I don't want to spend half another afternoon arguing with M and waiting for the cops. TL, drive. M says I stole my car because her son, who is younger than me, doesn't own a car. She proceeds to call the cops. They tell her it's my car and everything is alright, so she tries to steal my key. Her son calms her down, so they leave after she swore that she will get my car back to its original owner. Edit. I've corrected all the mistakes you guys found so far, so keep it coming. As I mentioned, I might go there again using my parents' car to see what would happen if I meet Karen there again. I would love to know what worst situation the cop has seen. But you never know. It isn't a very big town like Berlin or München, but it's got some problems too. Partly with clans fighting each other, partly with illegal street races, etc. My wild guess would be that it had something to do with one of those things. Edit no. 2. Yes. Burger King in Germany has chili cheeseburgers. Also chili cheese fries and nuggets. Since those products have been very successful for Burger King, McDonald's started selling burgers like that too. Although they aren't even half as good as the original one from Burger King. I'm very sorry for you guys that you don't have them in the US. Edit no. 3. Alright guys. He'll press charges if he'll ever meet that Karen again. Everything I thought in that situation was I can finally go home now. So I didn't felt like staying there for more time than I already spent there. Let my son play with your dildo. Yeah, this is a good one. So a little while ago I had my graduation party. I'm not gonna bore you with the details, but all that needs to be said is my mom has a huge network of friends. Unfortunately, one of those friends is an entitled bitch. Not gonna go into the abbreviations, I trust your intelligence. So after a lot of planning, and I mean a lot of planning, my graduation party comes and our house was packed to the brim. Most of the other teenagers were hanging around downstairs. There were a few little kids. For the most part, nobody was stupid enough to bring little children to this party. No one except M. Now, I don't like people going into my room, and I feel like a closed door should be a sign of do not enter. But I guess I was wrong. So about halfway through the party I went up to my room. Honestly, I can't remember what I was looking for, but as I turned the corner I saw my door was open. My first thought is that my mom opened it to let my cats hide. They aren't very social and like to hide in my room. Yeah, nope. When I walk in I see X swinging my dildo around like a nunchuk. It's one of those purple ones that's double-sided, so I can get why it wasn't immediately obvious, but still. What the hell? I yelled, grabbing the dildo out of his hands. Ek, give it back, I was playing. No, this isn't a toy. Ek, yes it is, it's a nunchuk. No, it's not. Kid, now get out of my room. So the kid runs off. I took a moment to take a breather and to text my friend what had just happened when I hear the angry storming footsteps of entitled mom. Why is my kid crying? He went through my stuff and was playing with something that wasn't his. I don't care, it's just a toy, don't be selfish. I really tried to approach this situation delicately. I really did. It's not a toy he should be playing with. Ignoring me, honey, what were you playing with? Ek, that one, he said, pointing to it on my bed. Then grabs it and gives it to him, in which I immediately snatch it back. I told you no. Stop being selfish and give him the toy. Very annoyed at this point. I'm not letting your son play with my fucking dildo. She paused for a sec and I thought it was over. You know how this goes. That's not a dildo, it's double-sided. How dare you make up such an obscene lie? Now that made me pause. How stupid is this woman? It's double-sided cause my GF and I use it. Gasps like I just told her son about 2 girls 1 cup in perfect detail. You're a faggot. Now, I mean no offense, but I'm actually pretty proud of this one. Actually, I'm better cause I can go fuck your husband too. How dare you say that to me? Right, I forgot it's ex-husband. Now kindly get out. I'm telling your mother about this. Please do, I'm a full-grown adult, I can do what I want. And with that she huffed out and we haven't heard from her since. I later told my mom, and while she did scold me, she also had a big laugh about it. Edit. Remember kids, always put condoms on your dildos. You never know who's using it. Seriously though, if it's not made of silicone, use condoms even on your dildos, the materials may harm you.